Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another video, of course, with the free-to-play future Android 17 and 18 EZAing yesterday through the easy area. We're going to have to put them to the test in the event that they are best suited for. I do not think I would give these two a run in Super Battle Road. Maybe the original SBR, just because it's a little bit easier. But if they were to be caught with a super attack, it's probably lights out. So I'm not going to lie, I don't think I'm going to take these two in Super Battle Road. It's not sensible. Regardless of the categories they're on, it's just not sensible. I don't think they're a unit that after 2, maybe 3, super attacks, build up their attack and defense, or more so defense when it comes to Super Battle Road. I don't think even then that will keep them safe. Especially with the fact they greatly raised attack. As I said before, I do really wish, as I said in their showcase, that the 18 greatly raised defense rather than attack. So one of them, see, she's already more defensively focused anyway, based on, attack and defense on Rainbow Key Spheres, the fact she can evade. It would have been nice if she greatly raised her defense on Super rather than attack. I don't know. That's just personally me. Just have, she's more defensively focused anyway, so I thought, why not go the full way, full send it, as people say. But in terms of, how they are, I already said in their showcase, they're pretty good free-to-play stackers. They're good at what they do, and their sole purpose is purely just to stack, which a lot of the time, stacking units, when you take them into the Goku and Vegeta event, are purely just there for the defense. Even if they stack attack and defense, their main and sole purpose is to build up that defense where they're going to be defensively solid and not get you killed. That's all they're pretty much good for. Yes, by the end of it, they both have like 700k attack stats, almost 800k, which is honestly ridiculous. But because in their passive, they have no multiplicative stats or percentages, like when performing a super attack, they get an extra attack and defense plus such and such, XYZ. Even though they do have like 800k attack stats, the damage they put out by the time you get to like the Fizz Vegeta stage, or even the end, their damage isn't insane. Of course, 17's kind of winning, he's kind of up because he has type advantage, so if he is getting that crit off that he has built in, and then not only that, I mean, he's rainbowed anyway, so he has even more of a chance to crit, I mean, they both do, then he's doing a bit of extra damage. I think he's done like a 1.3 million crit, which is decent for a free-to-play unit, but when you think about him having type advantage, having like a 700k plus attack stat, the actual damage you see dealt on your screen isn't that high, but that's because they don't have any multiplicative stats when it comes to their passive. So, I mean, that would have helped them massively, but they are stacking units, so, you can't have everything. But for the most part, as I said, they're pretty much just good at what you need them to do. We do have them on a Future Saga team just because, trying to do Vegeta event runs with androids, like a full androids category team, is such a pain. Like 13 gets you killed so easily, and it's such a pain. Such a pain. But yeah, I mean, there's not really too much to actually say about these two. They're just good at what you take them to do, which is stack. Yes, it's nice that they greatly raise their attack, get a bit of, 50% on attack, get those attack stats ridiculously high, but if I'm being completely honest, while they still are good at what they do and what you're going to be bringing them in this event to do, I would have preferred if both of them greatly raised defense. You're mainly there, even though they stack both attack and defense, they're both mainly there to build up their defense to make sure you survive. Even though their main focus, especially on 17, is damage. But I mean, for free-to-play stackers, they are pretty good. Overall, they're just they basically do what they say on the tin. They're just good stackers. Other than that, I kind of have nothing else to say about them. The 18, though, is nice. She does have the evade. Of course, we do lose out on that when she, when you get to the SSB Vegeta phase. But it is useful to have. She actually dodged a lot more than I thought she would. Even though she has a medium chance to dodge, she still actually, I was lucky enough for her to dodge quite a bit. So the fact that she does evade is very handy. We all loved using UI Goku in this event when he dodges everything until the final phase. But the fact she stacks and also has an evade, very nice, very nice. Defensively, she is very good. 17 in terms of damage output. Early on, the damage output for both of them is pretty good, especially when they have type advantage, which 17 only has type advantage once, which is at the end. But, they put out some decent numbers early on. The only kind of downside to these two is if you're not taking it somewhat slow, you know, you're not stalling just a little bit to make sure these two build up, and you're kind of just racing through. Early on, you can be hit for big numbers, and these two can take quite a bit of damage, I'm not gonna lie. But of course, that's to be expected considering they haven't really built themselves up. But I'm not even gonna lie either. You know, even though she has type disadvantage, which is kind of understandable against SSB Vegeta at the end, you know, with her being a strength unit, I think 18 had like 3, maybe 400k defense, and she took a super. She still took about 300k on that super, which is a lot of damage to take in one. Again, bearing in mind she did have type disadvantage, but for a unit that stacks, you know, that is a bit much. But at least one thing, the major thing they were brought to do, they did, which is they don't get you killed, which is obviously very handy in an event like this. You don't want your units getting you killed, but they are open to a bit of damage on a super attack. That's mainly because in their passive they don't have any extra, like, you know, attacking defense plus 100% performing a super attack. There's no multiplicative percentages in their passive for them to get a bit extra. It's purely what they're getting from stacking on super. So you know, as I said, they pretty much do the job. I mean, it's funny that I say they do what they say on what it says on the tin, because that's literally, I'm pretty sure that's what Vegeta called them in the Android sagas, talking about them calling them tin cans. But you know, they're useful. I don't think they're anything special. They're not ridiculously good. They're not amazing. They're not OP. They're not busted. But they are useful. You know, especially on an Android category team when you don't really have, I think, hardly any stackers at all. I don't think Android's category has any stackers whatsoever. But you know, on a team that doesn't have loads and loads of ridiculously defensive units, I mean, Cell's okay as long as you have more health, but he's still open to a bit of damage on a super attack. You have the Tech 16 EZA, and then potentially the MVP, you know, the Fizz 17 that you need to have low health to get the damage reduction off. Other than that, I don't. Oh no, there's also the EZA Hellfighter 17. And the Trenchcoat 17 isn't too bad defensively after his EZA, but he will still take quite a bit of damage on a super attack. So I don't think there's any stackers really on an Android team. If there is, there's hardly any. There's probably a handful. So to have like more defensive options, if you will, it's quite nice. It's quite similar to what I said about Super Saiyan Vegex when it comes to Potara. You don't really have out and out just pure defensive units on these categories, and to have some now that are free to play and free for you to obtain and max out, it does come in handy, especially if you're missing some of the big heavy hitters of the team. You know, you can put these two on, they work perfectly together. Here's the super attack, by the way, 300k, so much damage, but I mean, once you build up their defense, they tank perfectly on basics, you know, double digits every time. But yeah, it's nice to have more defensive options on an Android category team, specifically stackers, so that also does come in handy. And as I said, they're free, you can max them out for free, even better. Again, especially if you are missing some of the better Android units in the game. But yeah, for the most part, I am... I don't want to say I'm impressed, because I mean, I expect stackers to be able to handle this event as well as they did. As I said, early on, if you're not careful, they will take a lot of damage, which is understandable, because they've barely been stacking or building up, you know, because it is early on. But early on, you do have to be careful, because they will take a lot of damage. Even 17's taken over 100k on a Vegeta super attack, and he has type advantage. So as I said, they're nothing ridiculous, they're nothing special, they're nothing amazing. They just do the job that they're intended to do, which is stack, which is obviously perfect for the likes of Goku and Vegeta event. So yeah, I don't really have nothing else to say about them. As I said, they're just kind of basic stackers. They're good at stacking, and that is what they're useful for, pretty much. Other than that, they're nothing special. I'll be completely honest. They could have easily been better, but they're good at what they do. But I'm going to end this one here. I'll see you in the next one, guys, and peace.